everybody. Thank you for joining us and being out in this beautiful weather. It's perfect weather for this exciting event, which celebrates the construction of Bristol Hospital's new 60,000 square foot ambulatory center. This project is exciting not only for the future of Bristol Hospital, but also for the future of downtown Bristol. My name is Mary Lynn Gagnon. I am the Executive Director of the Bristol Hospital Development Foundation, and once again, thank all of you for being here this morning. Today's agenda will include a brief speaking program, and then all of you have a chance to be part of Bristol Hospital's history by signing the ceremonial beam that's right behind us. This beam will find a permanent home in the new ambulatory center. Before we begin, I would like to thank the team from Rendina Healthcare Real Estate and O&G Industries for helping to arrange today's event. We also have some VIPs in attendance that I'd like to introduce. We have State Senator Henry Martin is with us, State Representative Whit Betts, State Representative Kara Pavlak, and from our City Council we have Greg Hahn and Dave Mills, and of course the Honorable Mayor Ellen Zapusasu. We also want to thank all of the employees for Bristol Hospital that are here, as well as our Bristol Hospital Board of Directors that are here this morning. So our first speaker this morning is a visionary for this project, who along with the Bristol Hospital Board of Directors made this project a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, the President and CEO of Bristol Hospital Healthcare Group, Mr. Kurt Barwis.
Thank you, Mary Lynn. It's really wonderful to be here today. I drive past this property every morning on the way to work, and a couple weeks ago when the steel started going up, I looked over and I think that was probably the first time, you could see drawings all day long, but the first time I realized what impact this building is going to have in the city, and it's going to long outlast me and my life. So it's really exciting to be standing here today to talk about this and to actually kick this off with the beam signing. It was a really cold day back in December of 2015. John Leone was the chairman of the board at that time, and he announced at City Hall that we were going to build this new ambulatory center. John, do you remember that? Since we made that announcement, there's been quite a bit of excitement in the community, and living here, I hear it. I hear it at the grocery store. I hear it everywhere I go. People ask me and talk about it. The sense of pride in this community is amazing. It's absolutely wonderful how many people view this as part of themselves being part of the community. So that's a really amazing thing to be able to say, given all that this property went through and all the things the hospital has gone through. It's very exciting to be able to respond in the way that we have. Our board of directors felt that since access to care was a priority, and we saw that from our community health needs assessment and a whole bunch of variety of other things, a decision was made to pursue this project, which is a win-win for everybody. All along, we have said that we see this building serving as a springboard for future development on the former downtown mall site. I also remember the day that one of the past mayors in the freezing cold, I think it was about 17 degrees, took the first shot at the old mall property. And standing here was probably about 17, 18 degrees and thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be great, something different's going to happen to this property. I've been here 12 years, and that was probably the second year I was here. So it really, truly is exciting to be here today. We're grateful to all of our city leaders. You go through this process, and from the concept to the decision to move forward, a tremendous amount of work. And I'll tell you, the city council, the mayor's office, planning, everybody has been absolutely amazing. But people that do deals and do development know that announcing it is one thing, closing it is the real challenge, right? And so I have to compliment the city attorneys for their hard work and diligence. And as always, there's always things that happen in the end. And the mayor, Ellen Zapusasu, was amazing in the end in making sure that this project got closed. Of course, that process is grueling at times, but I think I would say that the city was extremely receptive and generous with their time and supportive as we move through. So my gratitude to all of you in the city who made this possible. As you can see behind me, the skeleton of the Ambulatory Care Center is starting to take shape, and hopefully a year from now, I actually don't think it's hopefully a year from now. I know it's with the team that we have with Rendina and ONG, and I think the other thing is, I was saying to somebody on City Council the other night, they were watching on the weekend as the team was working aggressively Saturday and Sunday to get this thing going, to make this day and all. And I think the secret to it all is you just don't pay anything until you occupy the building. And so I was making a recommendation to the city that they also try that strategy in the future. But it clearly makes a difference in terms of deadlines and time. So I fully expect that we'll occupy this building by this time next year. This beautiful new building, and I have to say, the other night John Lodovico showed me a picture of what was here before they cleared the property for the mall site, and it's amazing how this corner, aside from the curve in the building and the facade, almost looks identical to what was here before it all came down. Of course, I wasn't around when that happened, but the pictures really do kind of show that we're getting back to what the city looked like. So it's really exciting to be able to do that. In this building, we're going to have a significant number of specialists: cardiology, neurology, orthopedics, and rheumatology. We do have expansion space, not a lot of it, and if the past is any indication of the future, we do have space ultimately to construct another building next to it at some time, and usually the pressures of running out of space kind of drive those discussions. So I'm really hopeful and excited that we can get to that point in a very short term. This really makes a difference in terms of physician recruitment. So we work really hard. It's a very competitive environment in the state of Connecticut to recruit doctors. And one of the things they look for is they want to be able to participate in an environment where they can collaborate with other physicians and not necessarily the same specialty, to be able to treat their patients. So easy to walk across the hall and talk about a complex patient. They want to work in an environment that's contemporary, that's efficient, that really does support the healing process, the treatment process, the diagnosis process, and all of those aspects. So in terms of recruitment, we've actually had quite a few physicians this last recruitment cycle that kind of focused on the fact that we were going to have this exciting new facility to work in, and I think it's helped us significantly. So in closing my remarks, I truly want to thank all of you for joining us today. I did get this suit out of the cleaner this morning, and probably going back again this afternoon, and just reinforces our commitment to providing safe, accessible, high-quality care to this community for generations to come. Thank you very much. Mary Lynn, back to you.
Thank you so much, Kurt. And next we will hear from our Honorable Mayor of the City of Bristol, Ellen Zaposasu.
Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here for a number of reasons, but the most important one is the fact that this is a critical turning point for our community. And from a positive standpoint, I think that this project represents far more than the physical aspects that we see behind us. It represents a point in time for the City of Bristol for an issue that we have struggled with since urban renewal in the 1960s. And it's the point now where the history piece of what's so important and what builds a community gets to turn the page to the future history. Because really in a community, we build history every day. Every day we're adding to the story of what our community is. It's not just about clockmaking or about the industrialists or about the donations that so many of them made with Rockwell Park and Page Park, or the evolution of the decision that was made almost 40 years ago by a group of citizen volunteers on a 4-3 vote to sell a piece of land to a sports entrepreneur on Middle Street. It's about the future as it develops. And today I think that we're at the precipice of a very exciting future for downtown, where we can let go of the post office, let go of the retail, and talk about what Bristol is going to be for the future generations. I stand here today as a generation representative that never went into the old post office or shopped at Muzzy's or was at the Gridley House or was at the Holly's coffee shop. I'm concerned about my generation as well as my children in determining what Bristol is going to look like for them. And I don't think that we would be as half successful as we're going to be if we didn't have partners like Bristol Hospital, ONG, and the Rendina Group who are willing to come together at a high level of credibility and take that first step, that proverbial first step on this corner, which is going to lead to the parcels on the other corners filling in eventually. We have some interest, and we also have some flutterings in some of these other vacant retail spaces that have been sitting here for far too long. There is opportunity here, and part of the reason I'm here today is on behalf of the city staff that have worked tirelessly to make sure that everything happened to arrive at this point, that we are very happy. We're happy with the generations before us who got us to this point. We're happy that we're able to take that rear view look and understand what went wrong and what we need to do in the future. And we're happy that we're here with actually steel, beams, dirt, gravel, and shovels in the ground, because this is actually a physical sign of the progress that people have been waiting for years. So on behalf of the city, thank you for being here for what is really a historical moment and the beginning of a history that I think is going to define downtown for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ellen. I agree with her. I think this is so exciting, and to be able to be part of the beginning of this downtown revitalization is very exciting for all of us who live and work here in Bristol. And next we will hear from Richard Rendina, Chairman and President of Rendina Healthcare Real Estate, the developer who is overseeing the Ambulatory Care Project. Richard?
Thank you, Mary Lynn, and we'll be here to stay. Be overseeing the property management of this project once it's completed, and long-term owners of our real estate as well. It's an exciting day for us. This represents the 16th or 17th state where we've done a development project, all healthcare related. But more importantly, this is our first project in Connecticut. I like to say that the healthcare real estate, or any real estate, truly there is no typical deal. Every deal has its own nuances. I like to compare it to a jigsaw puzzle. Right when you think you've got the puzzle put together, one of the pieces changes shape, and you got to figure out how to put it all back together again. That for sure happened on this project like it does on many others, but as Kurt alluded to, we got there, we got to closing, and that's the most important thing. A lot of hard work and dedication goes into making that happen. And before my father passed away, he told me there's people in this world that are doers, that have innate ability to get things done. And Kurt Barwis and his team and his board are absolutely those type of people. They get things done, and as well as the city of Bristol and its staff. I want to thank all of you, ONG as well, for getting us to this point. Another doer, get things done, is my right-hand man, Steve Barry. He's been on the front lines here, so I think it's only right that he have a minute to say a few words. So thank you.
So any of you that have done some public speaking before, the only thing that's better than being added to the agenda somewhat unexpectedly is to do so in a heat advisory. So, as if I wasn't sweating enough up here, I will just take a few minutes. I do want to apologize to the nice lady who approached me before the event and asked if she was in the right place for the grand opening. I assured her that our ultimate plans do include walls on the building. We're going to throw in some doors and windows as well. So it's fantastic. And Kurt, I don't know if you know, but patient care has been shown to improve by about 30% when there's a roof on the building. So it's great. So we had some fun with that. But I did just want to touch on the vision. Kurt mentioned the vision here, and certainly all organizations need to have a vision if they're going to be successful. And I think the most successful organizations sometimes see opportunity where others may miss it. And I think that's part of the story here with the Board of Trustees and Kurt, along with the City of Bristol, recognized that there was a very key piece of downtown property that had sat dormant for far too long. At the same time, the hospital was looking to adapt to changes in healthcare and provide more convenient and accessible locations to deliver the high-quality care that Bristol Hospital has long been known for. You put the two together, and what you see is the result behind us, the state-of-the-art downtown ambulatory care center that's going to change the way healthcare is delivered in this community. I think Bristol Hospital is coming up on its 100-year anniversary soon. And I can think of no better symbol and commitment to the community than the Downtown Ambulatory Care Center to show that this hospital plans to be the leading provider for the next 100 years as well. Walking around the site this morning, I was struck by the symbolism. When you look at these steel beams, you can see they start off separate and independent, and they come together and they support each other and form the structure that's going to be the bones and the structure for the ambulatory care center. They have one job to do. And the symbolism struck me that it's really relevant for our team members on this project, that we started off separate and independent, but now we're connected with a common goal. And just like these beams, we're much better together than we are apart. So in closing, again, I just want to thank Kurt, you and your team. We look forward to a long partnership with you, and we're honored to play a role in developing this facility and making your vision a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, Rich. So now the moment that we've all been waiting for, we will have the signing of the beam. So may I have Kurt, Honorable Mayor Sassu, Richard, Steve, and our board chair, Mr. Doug Devenu, and Vice Chair John Lodovico come on up and take a Sharpie, and then you can sign away on the beam.